All right, in this problem number 7, we have a rectangular garden that's 10 feet by 16 feet. So I'm going to draw a rectangle that is 10 by 16. All right, I'll make 10 feet the width, 16 feet the length. And it says when each dimension is increased by the same amount, the area is increased by 40 feet. Find the amount of feet that each dimension is increased by. Put your answer in radical form and in decimal form. So the fact that they say find the amount of feet that each dimension is increased by, that tells us that's our variable. So graphically, I'm going to draw that by adding x to the length and adding x to the width. All right, and it says that when you increase the dimensions by that much, the area increases by 40 square feet. So that means like this L shape is going to be 40 square feet, right? And we know that this rectangle is 160 square feet. So now we got to come up with an expression that'll help us find x. All right. So you could come up with an expression for this weird L shape, and I'll show you how to do that later. But what I'm going to do is take the entire rectangle, which is 10 plus x by 16 plus x. So 10 plus x times 16 plus x. That's going to have an area of 200 square feet because we got 160 square feet plus 40 square feet. So that's the quadratic that I need to solve. And it says put your answer in radical form and in decimal form. So I'm going to solve this by hand and then put my answer in the calculator to see what the decimal form is. So when I FOIL this out, I get x squared, 16x plus 10x is 26x, all right, plus 160 is equal to 200. Then I'm going to complete the square because it's good practice. So, and also when you have a 1 in front of x squared and you have an even b, so 26 is even and it's just x squared, completing the square is actually pretty easy. It's when this number is odd or if this number is not 1 in front of x squared, it gets slightly complicated just because you have fractions. But 1x squared and an even b, I suggest completing the square unless you can factor it. So I don't think you can factor this one. So I'm going to subtract 160 on both sides.
Right, Mr. Scott, wouldn't factoring it just bring you back to the first, like the original equation?
Good point. The thing is, you don't want to factor.
That's also confused because like I wrote this out and then I did that and I factored it and I was like, oh wait, I just started with that. What am I doing?
Yeah, I'll tell you what you're doing. You didn't do anything wrong other than you don't want to factor unless you have 0 on one side of the equation. Factoring only really helps you solve an equation if you have 0 on one side because anything times 0 is 0. So if you were to subtract 200 on both sides and get like a minus 40 equals 0, then you could try to factor that. But x squared plus 26x minus 40, that can't be factored. And that's all you care about when it's equal to 0. Okay? Good question. So now I'm going to complete the square. And if you want to do the quadratic formula, you could. But I'm going to show you complete the square. So to complete the square, you add half of b squared to both sides. So half of 26 is 13. Squared is 169. So that's 13 squared, which is 169. That's 13 squared. Now, when you complete the square, right, that means you made this a perfect square trinomial. It's always going to factor to x and then half of b, so plus 13. That's an easy step if you remember it. Whenever you add half of b squared to both sides, it's always going to factor to x half of b in quantity squared equals 209. All right. Now, I wanted to point this out. If you stop at this step here, and you get x squared plus 26x equals 40, all right, that's actually another way you could have set up this equation by using the area of just the green part. The green part has an area of 40, which means x squared plus 26x is a way to express the green area because this square is x squared, and then this is a 10 by x rectangle, and this is a 16 by x rectangle. So you add up those three parts, and you get that. So another way to set up the equation. Now I'll finish solving it by taking the square root of both sides. So you get x plus 13 is equal to positive or negative the square root of 209. All right, so we subtract 13 on both sides, and we get two answers. Negative 13 plus root 209, negative 13 minus root 209. And we're going to eliminate this answer on the bottom because we're looking for a length that we're increasing a garden by. So negative lengths aren't in our domain. And then this right here, we could type into a calculator. So my TI Inspire closed out. That's heartbreaking. All right, and that's your answer. Now we just want to get it as a decimal, but that would be our radical answer.
Wait, so the 13 squared that's just 160, right?
169, 13 squared, yeah.
Oh.
So I added it here and here. Sumatra, what's up, bud? Sorry. Sure, when I'm done with this one, I'll go over 9, definitely. So yeah, this is, oh my God, fire drill. We got a video fire drill. Oh my God.
That's fine. If you post that video that you just made, and I'll just
Yeah, I mean, we're done. All you gotta do is type it in as a decimal.
All right.
All right, we gotta get out of